If you would offer to me a moment to share with you a great conversation that I had with a male client of mine. He is 43 years old, and it is my hope that what I share with him is going to be a help to you the way it was a blessing to him. 43, he is single with one kid, and he's been single for about 3 years. Great career, very mentally and emotionally stable and balanced. He's been in therapy for several years. Got out of a bad marriage, and checks the boxes. He works on those 5 areas, and he said, Doc, I booked a session because there's a lot of advice for people like me that's saying I should date as many people as I want to date, even at the same time at once, until I find the right person. And he said, I've attempted to do it, and I've struggled, and I don't know why, because I've done the work on myself, but I can't figure out why I can't date more than one person at a time. He said, what's your take on this? I said, can I be completely truthful with you? He said, of course. I said, what I'm going to say to you only applies to healed people, people who are doing the work, people who are attempting to become as whole and as healed as they possibly can be. If you're not in that category, then this won't make sense. You are doing this work. And so it's going to make sense to you. Those of you watching this video, I say the same to you. I said to him, do you know what a video wall is? He said, a video wall. He said, you mean those walls that have multiple monitors? I said, yes. He said, yeah. I said, where do you normally see those? He said, sports bars, malls, stuff like that. I said, cool. I said, so recently I saw one in a sports bar, very nice sports bar. And it was a big video wall, and it had about eight screens. I said they were showing different games on the different screens. And while I was watching the screens, one of the things that annoyed me was the fact that while they were showing about 4 or 5 different games that I was all very interested in, I could not concentrate on one because they were showing too many good ones at one time. He said, Doc, wow. He said, I know that's your client's favorite word. I said, yeah, it is. He said, I know where this is going. I said, yeah, let's walk it. I said, a gentleman at the bar said to the bartender, can you just put all of the screens on one game? Fortunately, that day, there were only probably maybe 20 people in the entire establishment. Most people weren't even paying attention to the screen, but he and I. So the guy, the bartender looks at me and says, you mind that? I said, I don't have a problem with it. I was just eating my food or whatever and actually returning some messages. So he reverted all of the games to one game. And the gentleman that made this request said, that's better. And I got his point. I said, do you get his point? He said, exactly, I do. I said, what's his point? He said, it's easier to focus on the screen when only one game is playing. I said, that's exactly right. I said to him, I don't know a single person who dates multiple people at one time that is healed and whole. He said, wow, that's interesting. I said, no, I'm serious. I said, look at all the advice you see on social media. Look, all the advice your friends have given you. And I want you to name one person that is healed and whole dating multiple people at one time. I said, do you know why? He said, why? I said, because the feeling you feel that you don't know whether or not you are capable of dating multiple people at one time is the same feeling that gentleman felt at the bar when he saw 4 or 5 games on the screen that he wanted to watch, but it was easier for him to maintain his attention if the screen just showed one game. Understand this. I said to him, could he see all of the screens at once? He said, of course. I said, I could see all of the screens at once, but there was one problem. I could not give my undivided attention to one game because there were 4 or 5 options on the entire wall. Dating multiple people at once works the same way, because I don't care how healed or whole you think you are. Mentally, and maybe even emotionally, and sometimes spiritually, you're going to battle within yourself attempting to watch 5 and 6 games at one time. He said, Doc, that's crazy. I said, but it's completely accurate, right? Understand this. If you cannot give your undivided attention to one game on a video wall that's showing on one screen when there are 5 or 6 games playing at one time, it is impossible to be healed and whole and date multiple people seriously and be able to give the attention necessary to make the kind of evaluation that's critical in order to make a good judgment about the game you're watching. Again, if you're not healed, if you're not whole, this probably is going to go over your head. But when I talk about being healed and whole, I talk about being mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially whole. And when you've worked on those things, it is almost impossible to have your attention in 5 or 6 different directions and be able to wholeheartedly tell me or anyone else what's really going on with just one game. If you are attempting to get to know 5 or 6 people seriously, it is impossible for you to be able to tell anybody what is going on with one game when you're entertaining 6. I hope this made sense. If it did, type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then remember, you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you. What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb. Listen, I've been dying to make this announcement for a very long time now, and I'm pleased to say that Inspire Nation has officially launched. Yes, we finally got a Facebook and YouTube community group where we're going to have exclusive content, exclusive shorts, exclusive discussion prompts, where we're going to engage with other people literally around the world who are on the same healing journey that we're on. I need you to go find these pages right now on Facebook and YouTube. Inspire Nation, follow the page, join the group, introduce yourself, and be prepared to link up with literally thousands of people around the world who are on the same healing journey, who are looking for the same resources, and who want to also be surrounded with other like-minded individuals who are growing in the same direction as you are. I'm so excited about this because it's the beginning of some great things I can't talk about right now. Listen, you got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.